You're listening to the Bumbling Golfer Podcast. Be sure to check out our friends over at Acorn Hills at acornhillsco.com for some of the nicest polos, Q-zips, and casual wear you'll find. If you do buy something, use code BUMBLE15, that's BUMBLE15 at checkout for 15% off your entire order. What is going on, everyone? This is John, the Bumbling Golfer, here at the Bumbling Golfer Podcast, episode number 9. Really got some motivation here being part of this Golfer Gang Network and all the guys and the people that have podcasts that are out there every day. I'm seeing them posting more and publishing more. So yeah, I'm just trying to, again, just do my part and honestly just reiterate the fact that, you know, I'm doing this just for fun. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not doing this for, for anything. I love the fact that people listen. And I would love to start getting some feedback on what people want to hear from me. Now, again, just to reiterate, I'm not going to talk about professional golf. I might talk about a couple things here and there, but I'm not going to recap, PGA events or live events or anything like that. I'll talk probably a little bit about YouTube stuff, but not a whole lot. There's a lot of that as well. I'm just really going to speak from my own personal perspective and some of the cool things that I've run into. So, one of the things that I do, and again, I do it for myself. I don't do it for any reasons other than that. I like to record my golf rounds on video, and I have a little setup. I'll put a video out about how I do it because there's no one really put anything out, and I went out and spent a bunch of money on a camera I didn't really need. I love the camera, don't get me wrong, but I basically use an Osmo Action Mini. It's basically like a GoPro, but it's an Osmo. I think it has better functionality and better capabilities. And I use a big tripod, and again, I'll get into that when I do that video. But you have a mic set up and all that. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today is some of the challenges that there are when you're trying to video. Year round in golf. Now, I have some regular playing partners that just ask me flat out, like, "Hey, I don't want to be on video." Okay, that's not really a big deal. I can edit it out. And I might have some weird camera angles and stuff, but I'm always very respectful of what it is that they want. Because I don't want to make their day uncomfortable. And I've had people come to me and say, "Look, I don't want you filming at all because if I'm on your camera, it's just not something that I'm into." Now, I could go the route of saying, "Well, I'm in a public spot." I could go that whole route. Or I can just say, "Look, you know what? I'll film 9 holes. And if I feel like I'm getting you in a bunch of the video, I'll just stop." And I've done that. I have kind of video from a bunch of different courses that I've played. And I've just had to stop because I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Now, the flip side of that is this. Some people love it. Some people would be like, "Hey, John, can I get on there? You have an extra mic?" And sometimes I'll do that, but it's really hard because it's just me. I don't have a camera crew. I don't have someone doing the audio, and that's the thing. It's a roll the dice almost every time. I have a really great set of microphones that I got, and they're wireless and whatnot, but I also have to figure out a spot for them, for a spot on me for them. So I love the lav mic because it's kind of hidden, but I tried one last year, and I have the whole setup. And again, I'll go over that whole entire list, but of what I use. However, when I do that, I lost the windscreen, and it was a really windy day. And look, I have we'll just say I have an extra chin or two. So that will then rub on the microphone, and which makes obnoxious noises. And I could probably make money on the ASMR side of things, but I don't. And I just want it to be quality sound and quality video. I do have some shot tracer stuff, which is really cool. It's really not that hard to do. It just takes a lot of time. It probably takes almost 10 times as long to edit a video as it does without shot tracers. So I throw some up there. I do some with, I do some without, but I'm really curious. I would love to hear from people who run into other people that video their golf rounds. I see it a lot more. I will say that I tell everyone in the group, straight off the bat. And by the way, when I get to the golf course, I explain to them, hey, I'm going to be filming my round out there. If you get any complaints, I'll stop back in after 9 holes and you let me know if you're hearing anything. If they hear anything, or if someone comes by and says, hey, you're really slowing it down, I'll put it away. It's really not that big of a deal. Um, I have had days like that, and people that I don't even know that I'm playing golf with will jump all over that person and say he is the fastest golfer in the group, which I feel like I am. Some days it's like a detriment to me because I feel like I rush through a setup or I rush through whatever, routine, or looking for a ball or anything like that. So I'm really trying to figure out a good setup, and I think there are a few people that I've met recently that have really nice like golf cart setups, being a push cart. I have a really nice 3-wheel push cart. I hope it's okay because I believe I left it outside for the entire winter and snow and rain and ice, but I'll figure that out. But I want to get a really good setup because it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of invisible when you have a cart like that, because you have some people with umbrellas, you have some people with different things, and I really want to try to get better video, better, and I use the word content and it makes my blood run cold. But that's really what it is. I'm just trying to create something not for anyone else, not for any reason other than I like to watch my golf rounds because I feel like that's how I get better. Now I put it on YouTube, and I have an Instagram, and I have a Facebook page for it. And those people that want to watch it will. And I've gotten some great feedback. I've said it a few times before. I've gone to a couple golf courses and people are like, hey man, you're the bumbling Yeti. I really enjoy watching your videos. And that to me is great because in some instances it's about actually hitting the ball better, or it's about, hey, and I've said this before, I use Ram golf irons, and there are times people have come up to me and literally were like, oh, you don't play much, do you? And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't play as much as I'd like to. And I don't beat a lot of people, but I'll tell you, man, when I play better than people like that, it feels extra good. And then all of a sudden they're a believer, like, oh, you paid $400 or $450 for those. Yep. So exactly what happened. So anyway, shout out to Ram Golf. I really do enjoy hitting those golf clubs, and I'm looking forward to some of the newer stuff that has just come out, was announced at the PGA show down in Orlando. So just curious, has anyone run into people on the golf course that are videoing? I've run into people on the golf course that aren't videoing, and they're the slowest pace of play by far. They have no idea what they're doing, and that's okay. But as the day goes on, if they're not picking their ball up after, 7 strokes on a par 3, or, I want everyone to be able to have a good time. I want everyone to be able to go out there and do their thing. But my point is just because someone has a camera doesn't necessarily mean they're holding pace of play up. Now, I run into people that are filming, and I'm like, look, you can't be doing this. This is not a good look for people that are out here filming. You can talk your way through a scene if you need to. So, like I said, as someone who I like to video myself, I do really enjoy. I did a 1v1 against my buddy Brian, which was really fun. I did an indoor one against my buddy Shane, and that was fun as well. And I also did one indoor with my buddy Ken. You can find him on Instagram at Ken He Golf, KenHegolf. He's a really good guy. He really helps out a lot with different content pieces, and I guess really posts on how to maybe gain some attention. But that's really not. I just like to do it organically. I actively go in and look to see who is following me, and if it's some weird thing, which those of you who have Instagram will understand. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens on Instagram. People that follow you and super inappropriate stuff. I'm sure there's a place for that, but there's not a place for that with me and my golf content at all. And there's really not a place for me with that at all anyhow. So yeah, just really wanted to kind of throw this out there, and those of you who are new listeners, I really appreciate it. I'm really excited about where we're going and how this is all going down, and how much help I've had from the Golfer Gang Network. It's been really interesting. I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical at first because this is just me. I didn't want to lose any kind of creative aspect. I've already done a podcast. It'll come out after this one, uh, with with a couple guys, and I'll announce that when it comes up. But it was really fun talking to them, and also opening up my, I guess, my world of golf to other people. I've met so many great people just through this podcast and just through Instagram and YouTube, and the place I go. You'll hear me talk about it all the time because I really truly believe. And by the way, there's going to be some really cool videos coming out very soon. Um, I am taking a I'm taking an additional approach to what my current video kind of series looks like, or video. I'm working on a video series is what I'm trying to say. So I'm outlining it all now. I got some really great video equipment. I got some, I'll be using very basic stuff. And again, I'm going to just lay it all out for everyone, because anyone who wants to do this, it's really no secret. You just have to go out and do it. You have to find a way to go out, get this stuff done. And shout out to Justin Reines for just being one of those people who continues to say, look, you might, I come up with some weird ideas, and I'm speaking from Justin's perspective. His ideas that a lot of people have said to him maybe wouldn't work, he's doing it. And I've seen that firsthand. He's really is a motivator, and generally just a good guy. And he's created a community there to Scramble House where I have made significant amount of friends. It's really great. Everyone there is like-minded, just having a good time. So yeah, anyone, again, video on the golf course, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about it? As long as it's not intrusive. And does it only bother you if you see a video camera? Like if you see a bigger camera, is that like a trigger? For a lot of people, that is. A lot of people, it is. I mean, we live in a society now where people are around videoing everything. I was at like a pharmacy, like a CVS, and I see people in there doing videos about whatever. Like it's crazy, but I get they're doing something. I went to lunch the other day, and there were these two young ladies in there. And here's the other thing. Let me get on this kick here. I make content, okay? I don't go out and actively say I'm a YouTuber, I'm an influencer, because that's not who I am. If someone else wants to put that label on me, go ahead and do it. I am going to have a really hard time calling myself a YouTuber. I might be a YouTube content creator, but I will never say I'm a YouTuber. And I know it's the same thing. So anyhow, these two young ladies, I was, you know, I was sitting down having lunch, and these two young ladies were telling the people that were at the restaurant that that they're influencers, and the restaurant lost their mind and started giving them stuff for free drinks, free food, appetizers, this, that, or whatever. Oh, we have this seat over here. Go check this seat out. And a lot of people like to get their pictures taken there. And it was crazy because the restaurant threw like free product at them. I'm never going to ask for anything ever. I work really hard for what I have, and I always have. I'm never going to ask anything for free. Now, if someone says, "Hey, can you come here and do this?" and I'll give you a 10% or 20% discount. I know that that's not going to affect their sales, but people are in business to make money. They're not in business to give free stuff away. So that part there was not really golf related, but it's kind of related to the conversation I'm having right now, again with myself, because this is some pretty good conversation I have, at least in my opinion. Just be careful, about how people approach different things, and that's really my whole process. I've owned small businesses. I've owned a golf business in the past, and I'll tell you, people ask for free stuff, and everyone's a professional this, and everyone's that has this title, and everyone has this credential. I'll be honest, like not many people have it. Not many people do. I could say that for like the world a long drive. Trust me. I know I don't hit the ball that far, but I know the long drive business, and everyone's a professional, and there's a lot of people that should not be calling themselves professional, because it's costing them more money. They're making money, but they're spending way more than they're making. There's a few select guys out there that I really, really respect and all that, but there's also a lot of guys out there that are just, asking for free stuff and asking for discounts and, oh, I won this event at my local municipal. Okay, that's great. You're not going to hear me say that. Now, if I win something big, you're going to hear about it, but I haven't won anything at all. I am going to win the AGS tour in the Philadelphia area this year, though. I'm throwing that out there. Anyway, more stuff to come, more conversations. I'm working on some guests to have on this podcast to make it a little bit more interesting. Actually, probably make it a lot more interesting. And I just appreciate everyone. Go over to Acorn Hill, support my guy Nate. If you do by chance buy something, in checkout, use the code Bumble15. That's Bumble15. You'll get 15% off your entire order. And that's, I mean, look, that's basically free money, right? All it's doing is just pushing more traffic to Nate and what he's trying to do and what he's accomplishing already. And there's going to be some really cool things coming down the road. I'm excited. If you can, or if you're interested and you want to see some of the video content, some of the golf courses that I play, check me out on YouTube, like and subscribe. This way you get all the notifications, all that good stuff. And if not, that's fine too. If you want to listen to this, that's great. If you don't, look, if you're this far into the podcast already, you're interested in listening. But again, shout out to the Golfer Gang Network, everyone that's associated with it, all the people associated with Acorn Hills. Again, I'm not getting paid for any of this stuff. I want to be part of a group that is like-minded. That's real life. That's real, true life. So until next time, still have to work on my tagline. Let's see. All right. Hey, everyone. This is John, the Bumbling Golfer, episode number 9. Until next time, make sure you hit that putt dead right. Peace. You've been listening to the Bumbling Golfer podcast. Check us out on our socials at the Bumbling Golfer. Also, find us on YouTube. And again, those of you who are looking for some really nice golf gear or casual wear, check out acornhillsco.com and use Bumble15 at checkout for 15% off your entire order.